Tonight, as you lie down and let the day fade away, feel the support of the bed beneath you. Notice how the mattress holds you, how the pillow cradles your head, how the blanket covers you like a soft embrace. Let go of the busy hours that have already passed and let your body sink deeper into stillness. You have arrived here, in this quiet space, in this very breath. Zen teaches that the treasure we seek is not far away, not hidden in a distant temple, not waiting on a mountaintop. The treasure is always right here, in just this moment. Tonight, as you drift into rest, you will return again and again to the simplicity of now. No special knowledge is required. No beliefs need to be adopted. All you are asked to do is breathe. Simply breathe and notice. Allow your awareness to soften as ancient wisdom flows into you like moonlight over water, gentle, effortless, and calm. This is not an ordinary sleep meditation. Zen does not ask us to escape life, but to enter it more fully. These teachings are not about running from the world, but about seeing clearly the world that is already here. For centuries, men and women have found peace by opening themselves to the present moment, not by clinging to yesterday or longing for tomorrow, but by sitting, breathing, and noticing. Stress begins to dissolve when we stop chasing the future. Worry loosens its grip when we stop replaying the past. A doorway opens when we rest in the simplicity of now. Tonight, we step through that doorway together. Many people who hear these teachings discover something unexpected, a depth of rest that feels richer than anything they have known before. Not because they tried harder, but because they finally stopped trying. Rest does not come from effort, but from letting go. Tonight, you are invited to release the thoughts that keep you awake, to soften the restless grasp of the mind, and to discover the extraordinary beauty hidden inside ordinary moments. Zen has always spoken directly to the deepest self. It does not cling to background or belief. It does not require status or achievement. It whispers to the part of you that longs to rest, that longs to breathe, that longs to be free. That part of you already knows how to sleep. It already knows how to be at peace. You need only give it space. So, let us begin this journey together. Take a slow breath in. Feel the cool air entering your nose, traveling down into your lungs, expanding your chest. Hold it for a brief moment, just a pause. Now breathe out gently, slowly, fully, letting the weight of the day drift away with your exhale. Again, inhale deeply, filling yourself with calm. Exhale slowly, releasing tension. Each breath is an anchor to this moment. Each breath reminds you, you are here, alive, complete. The Zen teacher Thich Nhat Hanh offered a simple meditation. Breathing in, I arrive. Breathing out, I am home. Tonight, we will practice arriving not in the future, not in the past, but here. Home is not somewhere you must travel to. Home is this very breath. Home is this steady heartbeat. Home is the stillness wrapping around you now. Zen stands apart from many traditions. While many religions rest upon belief in distant gods or sacred texts, Zen turns our gaze inward. It asks us to notice what is immediate. The Buddha never demanded faith in what could not be seen or touched. Instead, he invited his followers to taste the present moment for themselves, to sit and breathe, to watch thoughts rise and fall like clouds in the sky. So tonight, as you rest your head, remember, you do not need to travel anywhere. You do not need to become anyone else. Peace is not far from you. Peace is not waiting at the end of a long journey. Peace is in this room. It is in this body. It is in this breath. It is in just this moment. Close your eyes if they are not already closed. Notice the subtle sounds around you, perhaps the hush of the air, the ticking of a clock, the hum of night beyond your window. Let each sound be part of now. There is no need to judge them, no need to label them. Each sound belongs. Each sound is simply this moment speaking. Feel your body supported, your shoulders soften, melting down into the mattress. Your arms rest heavy at your sides. Your jaw loosens. Your forehead smooths. The muscles of your back release. With each exhale, you let go just a little more. A Zen proverb says, "When walking, walk. When eating, eat." Its wisdom is simple: to be fully with what is happening, without dividing ourselves between what is and what should be. Tonight, there is no need to fix anything, no need to plan, no need to achieve. Tonight, the practice is simply resting. Breathe again, slowly, deeply. Inhale peace, exhale release. With each breath, feel the weight of unfinished tasks fall away. There is nothing to solve tonight. There is nothing to hold on to. You are safe here. You are whole here. You are exactly where you are meant to be. If your thoughts wander, that is all right. Gently notice them, then return to the breath, to the present, to the safety of this moment. Like clouds drifting across a vast sky, thoughts will come and go. The sky does not cling to them, and neither must you. Zen is not rigid philosophy. It is not a map of distant heavens. It is a lantern for the path you are already on. Tonight, it is a gentle companion to guide you into rest. Its message is simple. Peace is not hidden. Peace is not withheld. Peace is here, waiting for you, in just this moment. As your body begins to settle into rest, bring your awareness to the simple rhythm of your breath. Notice how it moves, in and out, steady and unbroken, like the tide flowing across a quiet shore. There is no effort needed. There is no struggle. You do not need to shape the breath or control it, or make it different from what it already is. Simply notice. Breathing in, there is presence. Breathing out, there is release. Zen reminds us that the breath is always here to guide us home. It does not belong to yesterday, and it does not belong to tomorrow. It belongs only to now. When we rest our attention on the breath, we are resting in the present moment, the only place peace can ever truly be found. Take a gentle inhale through your nose, letting cool air flow inward, filling your lungs. Pause for just a moment, like a rest in a piece of music. Then exhale slowly, letting the warmth leave your body, carrying with it the heaviness of the day. With each out-breath, allow tension to dissolve, muscles to soften, and the mind to quiet. You may notice thoughts arriving, plans, worries, old memories. That is natural. There is no need to fight them or push them away. Imagine them instead as clouds drifting across a vast open sky. They move at their own pace. They appear and they disappear. You are not the clouds. You are the wide, endless sky. Thoughts come and go, but your breath remains, steady and true, anchoring you here. A Zen saying reminds us, when you breathe in, you touch the miracle of being alive. When you breathe out, you smile at the world. With each inhale, you connect to the miracle of life flowing through you. With each exhale, you release into the ease of this moment. Let us slow the rhythm now. Inhale gently to a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for just a quiet pause, and exhale to a count of 6. Again, inhale softly, filling your body with calm. Pause, and exhale fully, releasing all that is heavy. With every cycle, your body drifts deeper into rest. The teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, guided his students with a simple phrase: breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. You may choose to repeat this silently to yourself. Let the words accompany your breath, like a gentle mantra, carrying you towards sleep. Notice the sensations of breathing, the rise and fall of your chest, the soft expansion of your belly, the delicate sound of air moving in and out. These are not small things. They are miracles in plain sight, the rhythm of life itself, carrying you from your first moment until this one. Imagine that each inhale is like drawing in fresh mountain air, crisp and clear, and each exhale is like releasing smoke, letting go of burdens you no longer need. With every breath, you grow lighter, calmer, more at ease. Perhaps your breath feels shallow tonight. That is all right. Perhaps it feels deep. That is all right too. There is no need to compare, no need to judge. Whatever the breath is, it is enough. Whatever the breath is, it is here. Zen teaches us that peace is not waiting in the future. It is not a prize we must earn once the mind is finally silent. Peace is in noticing the noise of the mind and still discovering that the breath continues. Peace is in realizing that no matter what thoughts appear, the body keeps breathing, moment by moment, carrying us gently into now. Take another slow breath. Inhale presence. Exhale release. Each cycle is a reminder that this moment is whole, complete, sufficient. If distractions come, return to the inhale, return to the exhale, return to the steady rhythm of being alive. Now, imagine yourself in a quiet Zen temple. The floor beneath you is wooden, smooth with age. Around you, monks sit together in silence, their robes rustling softly as they breathe. The faint scent of incense lingers in the air, grounding and calm. A single bell sounds in the distance, its echo long and gentle, fading back into silence. In that silence, all that remains is the breath. You are part of that silence now. You are part of that rhythm. Inhale and know that you are here. Exhale and know that you are free. Notice now the space between breaths, that brief pause, not the inhale, not the exhale, just the stillness in between. In Zen, even that stillness is a teacher. It shows us that emptiness is not absence, but presence in its purest form. We often run from silence, filling it with noise, with thought, with distraction. But here, in the pause between breaths, silence is a friend. It is not emptiness to fear, but fullness to embrace. Let yourself rest there, in that quiet pause, as naturally as lying on soft earth under the open sky. Breathe once more, deeply and slowly. Inhale calm, exhale release. Inhale and feel life entering. Exhale and feel peace returning. The breath is the doorway. The present is the room. You are already inside, so rest here, in the inhale, in the exhale, in the stillness in between. This is the practice of now. Imagine yourself stepping onto a quiet path that winds through a bamboo forest. The air is cool and fresh, touched by the scent of earth and leaves. The world of the day fades behind you, and all that remains is this living, breathing forest. Each step you take is soft, cushioned by the soil. Each step carries you deeper into presence. The bamboo rises high on both sides of the path, tall and slender, swaying gently with the breeze. They move together, whispering to one another, their leaves brushing in soft conversation. You notice the sound of rustling that is not hurried, not frantic, but calm and unbroken. The forest itself seems to be breathing with you. Take a slow inhale here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let the breath fill you, as if you are drawing in the green life of the forest. And exhale, soft and easy, as though the bamboo itself exhales with you. In Zen, walking can be meditation. Every step is an arrival. Every step is a chance to touch the ground of this moment. You are not walking to reach a destination. You are walking to experience walking itself. As the saying goes, when walking, walk. Let your pace be unhurried. Imagine your feet kissing the earth with each step. The ground is firm, yet soft. It holds you, supports you, welcomes you. Above, light filters through the tall bamboo stalks, creating shifting patterns on the path. The sunlight dances like water across stone. You watch the play of light and shadow, and for a moment, you realize that you too are part of this dance. Perhaps you notice your thoughts wandering, drifting back into the past or forward into the future. That is natural. Each time you notice, gently return to the path, return to the forest, return to the breath. Presence is not about never wandering. Presence is about returning again and again to just this moment. Take another deep breath. Inhale peace. Exhale release. As you walk, imagine that each step is washing away worry. One step for release, one step for calm, one step for presence. The Zen teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, often spoke of walking as touching the earth with joy. He would remind his students, walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. Tonight, allow yourself to walk this way. Each step is tender, each step is mindful, each step brings you deeper into stillness. The path curves gently, winding deeper into the forest. Bamboo stalks bend slightly overhead, forming a living archway. You pass beneath it, and it feels as though the forest itself is embracing you, welcoming you into its heart. Listen closely. Hear the birds calling softly from above. Hear the faint creak of bamboo swaying in the breeze. Hear the quiet crunch of earth beneath your steps. All of it belongs. All of it is part of the music of now. Pause for another breath. Inhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With each cycle, your steps feel lighter, your body calmer, your mind more still. As you walk further, the forest grows even more quiet. The sounds of the outside world fall away. Time itself feels slower, as though the forest has invited you into its stillness. The tall bamboo stands like guardians on either side of the path, reminding you to be upright, balanced, and calm. Zen masters often compared bamboo to the mind in meditation. Tall, straight, yet flexible. It bends in the wind, but does not break. Let the bamboo remind you of your own resilience. You too can bend with the winds of life, but you need not break. Inhale strength, as steady as the bamboo. Exhale softness, as gentle as the breeze. The path begins to rise slightly. With each step, you feel your feet pressing firmly into the ground. You may notice the sound of small insects singing, a constant hum in the background. You may notice the faint smell of damp earth after rain. The forest surrounds you with all its life, and yet, nothing asks for your attention except the breath and the step. Step, inhale. Step, exhale. Step, inhale. Step, exhale. The rhythm of walking and breathing becomes one, and in this merging, the mind grows quiet, content to simply be. You reach a small clearing in the forest, where sunlight pours down freely, warm and golden. The ground here is soft with moss, cool beneath your feet. You pause for a moment, standing still, breathing, watching the bamboo sway gently around you. In this clearing, there is nothing to do, nothing to fix, nothing to achieve. There is only the presence of the forest and the presence of your breath. You close your eyes, just for a moment, and feel the breeze against your skin. The air brushes lightly across your face, across your arms. You feel the warmth of sunlight balanced with the coolness of shade. You hear the distant call of a bird. You hear your own inhale, your own exhale. Take one last deep breath here. Fill yourself with calm. Exhale into stillness. And now, when you are ready, continue along the path, carrying with you the peace of the bamboo forest, step after mindful step. Imagine the path ahead opening to a small wooden bridge. It stretches gently across a narrow stream, and lanterns line its edges, glowing softly in the dusk. Their light flickers like golden fireflies, swaying in the evening air. As you approach, the bridge becomes more than wood, and light it becomes a threshold, a crossing from restlessness into calm. The boards beneath your feet creak softly as you step onto the bridge. Each sound is gentle, reassuring, reminding you of your presence here. You pause for a moment, hand resting lightly on the railing. The lanterns glow steadily, their light reflecting in the water below. The stream flows smoothly, carrying leaves downstream, with no effort, no resistance. Take a slow breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel the lanterns glowing brighter as you fill with calm. Breathe out slowly, as though your exhale joins the water below, flowing freely away. In Zen, bridges are often symbols of transition. To cross a bridge is to leave behind one shore and arrive at another. Tonight, this bridge is your crossing from worry into peace, from holding on into letting go, from distraction into presence. With each step forward, imagine you are releasing something. The first step releases the weight of the day. The next step releases tension in the body. Another step releases thoughts that no longer serve you. Each plank of the bridge carries away what you no longer need. Pause here. Take a long breath in and let it out, slowly. Inhale renewal, exhale release. The lanterns sway slightly in the breeze, casting dancing shadows across the bridge. You watch the light shift and flicker, never the same, from one moment to the next. This, too, is Zen. Impermanence, constant change, the beauty of now. A Zen proverb says, "Let go or be dragged." As you cross the lantern bridge, you practice letting go, not by force, but by loosening your grip, allowing the stream to carry away what no longer belongs. Below the bridge, the water flows on, patient and calm. It does not resist the rocks in its path. It moves around them, over them, shaping them slowly with time. Let your breath be like this water, steady, soft, yielding, strong in its gentleness. Take another breath. Inhale strength. Exhale surrender. Step by step, you walk toward the center of the bridge. You pause and lean slightly over the railing. The lantern's glow reflects in the water, shimmering like stars fallen from the sky. The sound of the stream is steady, endless, calming. You breathe with it, in rhythm with its flow. Inhale with the sound of water entering. Exhale with the sound of water leaving. Allow yourself to linger here. The center of the bridge is not just a place of crossing, it is a place of rest. You are suspended between shores, neither here nor there, yet completely present. In Zen, this is the heart of practice, to be fully where you are, even in transition. Let your breath slow again. Inhale for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for just a pause. Exhale for 6 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With each cycle, your body softens further, your mind quiets more deeply, and the bridge itself feels like part of your breathing. The lanterns glow brighter as the sky darkens. Their light is steady, even as the breeze moves them gently. They remind you of the inner light that remains even when the world around you shifts. Within you, too, there is a steady glow, waiting to guide you through change. You glance down once more at the stream. You notice how it carries away fallen leaves, yet it never strains. It simply flows. You may imagine your own worries placed gently onto the water. Watch them drift away, carried downstream. You do not need to chase them. You do not need to hold them. You only need to release them. Another deep breath now. Inhale calmness. Exhale the burden. The bridge itself seems alive, a meeting of wood, water, air, and light, each element reminding you of balance. The boards are strong, yet they give slightly beneath your weight. The stream is soft, yet powerful enough to shape stone. The lanterns glow, yet rely on darkness to be seen. Presence is found in balance, just as it is found in breath. As you stand here, you realize that this bridge has already changed you. You stepped onto it, carrying the day, and now, as you prepare to step off, you feel lighter. The water has taken what you released. The lanterns have given you light. The crossing itself has given you peace. Breathe once more. Inhale the glow of the lanterns. Exhale the shadows of worry. When you are ready, you continue across the bridge. The final steps feel lighter than the first. You have left behind what no longer belongs. The lanterns glow gently behind you, a blessing for the journey ahead. You step onto the far side, grounded, calm, and present. The path continues, and you carry the lantern light within you now, glowing softly in your own heart. The path now opens into a quiet clearing, and before you lies a lotus pond, still and serene. Tall grasses surround the edges, bending gently with the evening breeze. Stones, smoothed by time and water, line the shore. The air is cooler here, touched by the scent of lilies and damp earth. The surface of the pond reflects the fading sky, soft blues melting into violet, streaked with gold from the last rays of the sun. The water is so still, it mirrors the world above, broken only by the smallest ripples as fish glide beneath. At the edges of the pond, lotus flowers float serenely, anchored by wide green leaves that cradle beads of water, glistening like jewels. Some blossoms are closed, waiting patiently for dawn. Others remain open, their pale petals unfolding with grace, glowing faintly in the twilight. The lotus is not just a flower. In Zen, it is a symbol of awakening. From the mud, it rises clean and pure, untouched by the water that surrounds it. Tonight, as you sit beside this pond, you are invited to see yourself in the lotus, grounded in the earth of your life, yet opening, rising, becoming. You find a smooth stone near the water's edge and sit. The stillness of the scene enfolds you. Frogs call softly in the distance, their voices weaving a slow chorus. Fireflies flicker among the reeds, tiny lanterns carrying their light across the darkening grass. Take a deep breath now. Inhale slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With every breath, your body softens, your mind quiets, as though you are part of the pond itself, reflective, calm, unmoving. In Zen practice, the lotus reminds us of resilience. Though its roots are buried in the mud, it does not remain there. It rises upward, reaching toward the light, blossoming with purity. Tonight, whatever heaviness you carry, stress, worry, unfinished thoughts, you may allow them to sink beneath the surface, back into the mud. You are the blossom. You are opening into this moment. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself as a lotus bud. Your roots rest in the soil of your experience, grounded and steady. Your stem rises strong and straight, reaching through the water, and slowly, with each breath, your petals begin to unfurl. Inhale, and the bud softens. Exhale, and the petals spread. With every cycle, you open more fully into now. A Zen proverb says, "The lotus blooms most beautifully from the deepest mud." Let this truth remind you that challenges are not prisons, they are foundations. From struggle, beauty can rise. From darkness, light can appear. Look now at the blossoms before you. White petals glowing like moonlight. Pink petals blushing against the dark water. Each flower is distinct, yet all rise from the same pond. In this way, you too are unique, yet deeply connected to everything around you. Take another breath. Inhale beauty. Exhale gratitude. As twilight deepens, the first stars appear above. Their faint light joins the glow of the fireflies and the shimmering lotus blossoms. A gentle breeze touches your skin, carrying with it the cool fragrance of water and flowers. You feel the air move in, fresh and clear, and move out, warm and soft. Each breath is a reminder of your place in this living scene. The pond grows quieter still. The frogs pause. The insects soften their hum. Even the ripples begin to fade. In this stillness, you realize that silence is alive as the blossoms, as alive as your breath. Silence is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is presence. You gaze into the water and see your reflection among the lotus flowers. The water bends and shifts the image, but Zen reminds us, imperfection is beauty. Just as the flower rises from mud unstained, your reflection is enough, exactly as it is. Stay here a while. Breathe with the lotus. Inhale peace. Exhale release. Imagine the moon now rising above the horizon, casting silver light across the pond. The blossoms catch it, glowing as if lit from within. The water reflects the moon, creating two moons, one above, one below, a reminder of the many ways reality can appear. Both are real, both are now. Another breath. Inhale the moonlight. Exhale into stillness. The lotus pond holds you gently. It teaches without words that beauty can grow from difficulty, that calm can bloom from chaos, that presence can rise from the mud of distraction. Let these truths settle in your heart, as softly as petals settling on the water's surface. Take one final slow breath here. Inhale deeply. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You rise slowly from the stone, carrying the stillness of the lotus within you. As you step back onto the path, the blossoms remain, glowing faintly behind you, a reminder that peace can always be found here, in just this moment. The path now begins to rise gently, leading you toward a mountain trail. The air grows cooler as you climb, filled with the scent of pine and fresh earth. Stones crunch beneath your feet, steady and grounding, each step a reminder of your presence. The mountain is not steep, but its path invites patience. You cannot rush it. You cannot leap to the summit. You must walk, step by step, breath by breath. In Zen, this is practice. Each moment taken as it comes, with no hurry, no grasping for what lies ahead. Take a slow inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let your breath become the rhythm of your walking. Step, inhale, step, exhale. Each step a meditation, each breath an anchor. The trail winds upward through tall pines. Their branches sway gently, whispering in the wind. Sunlight filters through the needles, painting the ground with shifting patterns of gold and shadow. A bird calls overhead, its song echoing against the mountainside. All of it draws you deeper into attention, into now. As you climb, notice how the path changes. Stones become larger, the incline a little steeper. You place your foot carefully, then another. This too is Zen, awareness of each step, of each moment, not trying to skip ahead, not yearning to be done, just walking, just breathing. Pause now, breathe deeply, inhale strength, exhale release. The mountain path is a teacher. It reminds us that attention is not forced, it is discovered. Just as your feet find the earth, your awareness finds the present. Attention is not a rigid grip, but a soft returning. Again and again, you come to a bend in the trail. The forest opens slightly, and you catch a glimpse of the valley below. The world stretches out, rivers winding, trees spreading endlessly, clouds drifting slowly across the horizon. For a moment, you feel small, yet deeply connected. The mountain holds you, the sky embraces you, the earth steadies you. Another breath. Inhale presence. Exhale gratitude. The air grows cooler as evening deepens. Shadows lengthen across the trail. The first stars begin to appear above, faint pinpricks of light shimmering through the canopy. The climb does not feel heavy because you are not fighting it. You are simply moving with attention, one moment at a time. Zen master Dogen wrote, "If you cannot find the truth right where you are, where else do you expect to find it?" Tonight, the mountain reminds you of this truth. There is no need to reach the top to find peace. Peace is here, in the step you are taking now. You pause again, placing your hand against the rough bark of a pine tree. You feel its strength, its stillness, its years of standing tall. The tree does not rush to grow. It simply lives, season by season, rooted in presence. You, too, are invited to root yourself in this moment, to stand tall and calm. Take another long inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With each cycle, you feel more grounded, more steady, like the pine itself. The path rises once more, curving gently toward a rocky outcrop. You step carefully, your breath steady, your body balanced. When you reach the outcrop, you pause again. From here, you can see the horizon bathed in twilight, the sky deepening into indigo, streaked with the last glow of fading light. You notice the silence. It is not empty, it is alive, filled with the quiet hum of crickets, the distant call of an owl, the whisper of wind across stone. The mountain teaches you that silence is not absence. Silence is presence. Breathe with the silence. Inhale light. Exhale stillness. The climb has brought you higher, yet you realize the mountain path is not about reaching the summit. It is about attention, each step, each breath, each moment. The summit is simply another step, another moment, no different from this one. You sit for a moment on a large stone, letting your body rest. You feel the cool rock beneath you, solid and unmoving. The air brushes gently against your skin. Above you, the stars multiply, scattered across the sky like endless lanterns. You inhale slowly, feeling the vastness of the night. You exhale gently, feeling your own smallness, your own place within the whole. A Zen proverb says, "When walking, walk. When sitting, sit. Above all, don't wobble." Tonight, the mountain invites you into this steadiness. Whether walking or resting, you are simply here. Whether climbing or pausing, you are complete. Take one last deep breath here. Inhale strength. Exhale ease. When you are ready, you rise again. The mountain path stretches on, steady and sure, carrying you forward. Yet you know that the journey itself is enough. The present is whole. The moment is complete. You continue, step by mindful step, carrying the attention of the mountain within you. The mountain path levels out, and the trees begin to thin. You step into a wide clearing where the sky stretches above, vast and endless. Night has fully arrived now. The indigo sky is scattered with countless stars, shining like diamonds across velvet. Their light feels both ancient and immediate, as if the universe itself leans closer to whisper into your heart. You pause here, standing still beneath the open heavens. The stars do not hurry. They do not compete. They simply shine, each one a point of light in the infinite sky. And you, too, are a point of light, a presence within this great expanse. Take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With each breath, you feel your body soften, your mind open, your heart expand. The stars remind us of interconnectedness. Every atom in your body was once part of a star. You are not separate from the cosmos. You are part of its story, part of its present. Tonight, as you gaze upward, let yourself rest in that truth. You belong to this universe, and this universe belongs to you. You lie down on the soft grass of the clearing, looking upward. The earth supports you fully, holding your weight. Above, the constellations appear slowly, Orion stretching his bow, the Great Bear circling the pole, the faint river of the Milky Way flowing across the sky. These patterns have been seen for thousands of years, yet tonight they are yours. Here, in this moment, breathe again. Inhale starlight. Exhale stillness. The stars are vast, yet they do not make you feel small. They remind you that the vast and the small are not separate. The infinite sky is mirrored in a single breath. The entire cosmos can be seen in a drop of dew, in a blade of grass, in the rise and fall of your chest. Tonight, the stars above you are not far away, they are reflected in you. A Zen poem says, "The moon, reflected in a dewdrop on the grass, in a single drop of water, the whole universe is contained." As you gaze upward, imagine that every breath you take is like a dewdrop reflecting the stars. Each inhale, the universe enters you. Each exhale, you return yourself to the universe. The night deepens. A breeze stirs the grass around you. Crickets sing in the distance, their voices a reminder that life continues, even in darkness. The stars seem brighter now, as though they are leaning closer. You realize that presence is not just within you, it surrounds you, above and below, infinite and intimate. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the stars within your own body, each heartbeat a star, each breath a constellation. You are both the observer and the observed, the sky and the earth, the breath and the stillness. Another long breath. Inhale wonder, exhale release. Open your eyes again. Notice how the Milky Way stretches across the heavens like a river of light. It flows without beginning or end, timeless and steady. Imagine placing your thoughts into that river. Watch them drift away, carried by currents older than time itself. Take another slow breath. Inhale infinity. Exhale freedom. A shooting star streaks across the sky. It appears suddenly, burns brightly, and then disappears into darkness. For a moment, you are reminded of impermanence. Everything arises, shines, and fades. Yet in that fleeting light, beauty is found. The same is true of this moment. Though it will pass, it is radiant while it lasts. The stars do not ask you to solve their mysteries. They do not demand belief. They only invite you to see, to be, to rest. Tonight, you are not searching the heavens for answers. Tonight, you are letting the heavens remind you that this moment, here and now, is enough. Breathe deeply once more. Inhale starlight. Exhale stillness. You rest quietly, the stars above, the earth below, your breath between them. The infinite sky continues to shine, steady and timeless, and yet every flicker of starlight belongs to this exact moment. Stay here a while, breathing with the stars. Let them remind you of your place in the great whole. Let them remind you that presence is vast, boundless, infinite, yet always found in something as simple as this breath, this heartbeat, this now. The mountain path now slopes gently downward, leading you into a valley. In the distance, faint lights flicker, the warm glow of lanterns scattered through a quiet village. The air carries the scent of wood smoke, the faint sweetness of rice steaming, and the earthy fragrance of soil cooling under nightfall. A bell sounds softly, its echo drifting slowly across the hillsides, deep and resonant. As you approach, you notice how still everything feels. The village is alive, yet unhurried. Houses with wooden walls and tiled roofs sit close together, their doors open to the night air. Curtains flutter gently at the windows. A few figures move through the streets, an elder carrying a lantern, their face calm and content, a child laughing softly as they chase after fireflies. The pace is gentle, steady, grounded in presence. You step into the village and feel its welcome. A cool breeze drifts between the houses, carrying the warmth of lamps and the hush of evening conversations. Every sound seems to slow your own breath, inviting you deeper into rest. Take a slow inhale here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each breath is part of the village rhythm. Calm, steady, unhurried. A temple bell rings once more, lower and longer this time. The sound hums through your chest, through the ground beneath your feet. In Zen, the bell is not only a sound, it is a call to return, to pause, to notice. Tonight, the bell invites you back into this moment, reminding you that you do not need to be anywhere else. You walk slowly along a narrow street lined with wooden beams and paper lanterns. Shadows ripple across the walls as the lanterns sway in the night air. A faint glow reflects in the water of a narrow stream that winds through the village, where carp drift lazily, their silver scales flashing in the lantern light. Every detail feels alive, yet unforced. Pause again. Inhale presence. Exhale release. A villager passes you, their smile quiet, unhurried. They bow gently, acknowledging your presence, then continue on their way. They carry no urgency, no weight of rushing. Their simple pace is a lesson. There is time for everything when you are fully here. Their presence reminds you of a Zen saying, "When eating, eat. When walking, walk." In this village, life is lived exactly this way, fully, gently, without distraction. Following the sound of laughter, you find a small tea house near the square. Its windows glow warmly with candlelight. Inside, people sit around low wooden tables, sipping tea in silence or speaking in soft tones. A kettle whistles quietly, releasing steam that curls upward like incense. The tea is poured slowly, carefully, as though it were a ritual. Even the act of lifting a cup feels like meditation here. Imagine yourself seated at a table, a cup placed before you. The ceramic is warm in your hands. Steam rises in delicate spirals, carrying the fragrance of green tea, earthy, grounding, with a hint of sweetness. You breathe it in before taking a sip. The taste fills your mouth, simple and pure, reminding you that presence can be found in the smallest acts. Take a breath with the tea. Inhale warmth. Exhale calm. You sip slowly, savoring each swallow. Around you, others do the same. Conversation flows like a gentle stream, words spoken softly, laughter rolling like distant thunder, never hurried, never loud. You realize that this village does not strive for stillness. Stillness simply arises here, because life is lived with care. When you step back outside, the night has deepened. The stars shimmer above, and the lanterns continue their steady glow in the streets. The sound of sandals on stone echoes faintly as villagers move about. A child's laughter fades into the distance, replaced by the quiet hush of night. The temple bell rings once more, long and resonant. You pause and breathe with it. Inhale as the bell rises. Exhale as it fades. Its sound seems endless, rippling outward until it dissolves into silence, leaving behind only presence. You walk further through the village. The houses glow faintly, their paper screens soft with light. The stream beside you murmurs quietly, reflecting the lanterns like ribbons of fire on water. The air carries the fragrance of pine wood smoke and tea leaves. Each detail draws you further inward, further into stillness. Pause again here. Inhale gently, filling your lungs with night air. Exhale fully, releasing the weight of the day. You realize now that peace is not only in temples or remote forests. Peace can be found in the places where life is lived, in footsteps, along stone streets, in the sound of water moving through a village, in the taste of warm tea shared with others. Presence is not something you must chase. It is something you allow, something you notice. The quiet village teaches this truth, that the ordinary is extraordinary when you meet it with attention, that even laughter, even footsteps, even the glow of a lantern can become gateways to the present moment. Take one final deep breath before you leave. Inhale the warmth of the lanterns, the fragrance of tea, the sound of the bell echoing in the night. Exhale into peace, carrying the stillness of the village with you. When you step back onto the path beyond the village, the lantern light glows behind you, steady and soft, as if to say, presence is always here, waiting, in just this moment. The path now leads you out of the village and into a quiet grove of trees. Their branches form a canopy above, and at the center of the grove stands a great Bodhi tree, its roots deep in the earth, its branches reaching wide toward the sky. You pause before it, knowing that this tree holds a story, the story of awakening. More than 2,000 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama, the man who would become the Buddha, sat beneath such a tree. He had wandered long, searching for answers, for freedom from suffering. He had studied with teachers, practiced disciplines, and endured hardship. Yet none brought him the peace he sought. At last, he chose to sit beneath the Bodhi tree, vowing not to rise until he discovered the truth. He sat in stillness, cross-legged, his breath steady, his mind attentive. Night passed into day, and day into night, yet he remained. The world tempted him with doubt, with fear, with desire, but he stayed present, unmoved, breathing with the tree, breathing with the earth. Take a deep breath now, as though you are seated beside him. Inhale patience, exhale stillness. The story tells that as Siddhartha sat, he was visited by Mara, the embodiment of illusion. Mara sent visions, armies of fear, storms of temptation, shadows of doubt. Yet Siddhartha did not turn away, nor did he fight. He simply noticed. He allowed each thought, each fear, to rise and fall like clouds across the sky. In this way, he discovered that freedom was not in resisting or clinging, but in remaining present, steady, and aware. You, too, may notice thoughts that arise. You, too, may see fear or doubt appear. Like the Buddha beneath the tree, you can let them pass. The breath continues. The body remains. The moment is whole. Pause for another breath. Inhale courage. Exhale, release. As the story continues, dawn broke after a long night of meditation. The morning star rose in the sky, and at that moment, Siddhartha saw clearly. He awakened to the truth of impermanence, of interconnection, of the end of clinging. He became the Buddha, the awakened one. He did not gain a treasure from outside himself. He simply realized what was already true, that suffering ends when we stop grasping at what cannot last, and when we rest in the present, fully alive. Breathe with this truth. Inhale awareness. Exhale freedom. The teachings that followed his awakening became known as the Four Noble Truths. They are simple, yet profound. First, that suffering exists. Second, that suffering arises from grasping and clinging. Third, that freedom is possible when clinging ends. And fourth, that a path of mindful living leads to peace. These truths are not distant or abstract. They are visible in every breath, every moment. As you sit beneath the Bodhi tree in your imagination, let these truths settle into you like roots settling deeper into the earth. They are not commandments, they are observations, invitations to notice what is already here. Pause. Inhale, knowing. Exhale, release. The leaves of the tree rustle softly above you, catching the light of the stars. Their sound is steady, soothing, like the whisper of wisdom itself. The roots spread deep beneath you, steadying the earth. The branches stretch high, reminding you that awareness is boundless. Imagine the night around you, the cool air brushing your skin, the distant call of an owl echoing through the grove, the scent of earth, damp and alive. You are grounded here, steady like the tree. Another breath. Inhale grounding. Exhale expansion. You close your eyes and picture yourself sitting as Siddhartha once did, beneath the tree, The night surrounds you, but you are not afraid. Thoughts arise, but you do not chase them. Desires appear, but you do not cling. You breathe, and you return, again and again, to this moment. Zen reminds us that awakening is not a distant prize. It is not a goal waiting at the end of struggle. It is as close as your next breath. A saying tells us, sitting quietly, doing nothing, spring comes, and the grass grows by itself. Awakening is like this natural, effortless, arising when we allow ourselves to rest fully in the now. Stay here a while, seated beneath the Bodhi tree. Let the story of awakening remind you of your own capacity to awaken gently, quietly, moment by moment. You need not search, you need only notice. Take one final breath beneath the tree. Inhale clarity. Exhale peace. When you open your eyes, the stars still shine above. The Bodhi tree still spreads its branches wide. And you carry with you the same truth the Buddha discovered, that freedom, peace, and awakening are not far away. They are here, in just this moment. From the Bodhi tree, the path winds gently onward, carrying you through a grove of bamboo and into a quiet garden. Here, lanterns glow softly among the trees, and the sound of water trickles from a small stone fountain. The air carries the fragrance of jasmine blossoms, delicate and sweet, mingling with the freshness of damp earth. In this place, the presence of a modern Zen teacher seems to linger the gentle wisdom of Thich Nhat Hanh, often called Thay by his students, meaning teacher. Thich Nhat Hanh devoted his life to mindfulness, to showing the world that peace can be found in the smallest moments of daily life. He spoke softly, with kindness in every word, and yet his teachings carried the power to transform lives. You pause here in the garden and imagine his voice, calm and clear. Drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the whole world revolves. Take a slow breath in, as though you are lifting a cup of tea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold gently. Exhale, as though you are placing the cup back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thich Nhat Hanh taught that peace does not wait for special moments. It is not hidden in distant temples. It is in washing the dishes, in walking from one room to another, in smiling at a friend. Presence is available everywhere if we choose to notice. You walk slowly through the garden, each step mindful, deliberate. The gravel path crunches softly beneath your feet. A breeze carries the fragrance of night flowers. A cicada hums faintly in the background, its steady tone blending with the fountain's trickle. Each detail feels alive, radiant, because you are paying attention. Pause for another breath. Inhale presence. Exhale release. Imagine Thich Nhat Hanh guiding you now, as he guided thousands. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I know this is a wonderful moment. Repeat these words silently with your breath. Inhale calm, exhale smile. Inhale present, exhale wonderful. With each cycle, your body relaxes more deeply. Your mind softens, your heart opens. You realize that joy does not need to be sought. Joy is already here, woven into this moment, waiting to be seen. As you walk further into the garden, You notice a small bench beneath a flowering tree. You sit there, letting the stillness surround you. Fireflies hover in the air, their lights flickering like tiny lanterns. The fountain continues its soft trickle, steady and soothing. Another breath. Inhale calm. Exhale gratitude. Nut Han often spoke of interbeing, the truth that nothing exists by itself alone. A piece of paper, he would say, contains the sunshine, the rain, the soil, the logger, the hands that made it. In the same way, you too contain the whole world. Your breath is the air of the trees. Your heartbeat echoes the rhythm of the earth. Your life is woven with countless others. You look up at the night sky above the garden, stars glimmering faintly through the branches. You realize that this sky has been seen by countless beings before you, that your breath is shared with all life, that presence is connection. Stay here a moment, breathing with this truth. Inhale, connection. Exhale, compassion. The garden feels timeless, as if it holds all moments within it. You understand now what Thich Nhat Hanh meant when he said, "The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it." You take another breath, slower this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold gently and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With each breath, you are not waiting for joy, you are living it. As you rest on the bench, the sound of the fountain becomes like your breath, flowing in and flowing out. The fireflies drift like thoughts glowing, fading, returning again. Each one arrives for a moment, then disappears, just like thoughts in the mind. You do not chase them. You do not cling, you simply watch. Thich Nhat Hanh also reminded his students, peace is every step. Even the act of walking can be a meditation if you walk with awareness. Tonight, imagine yourself rising from the bench and taking slow, mindful steps along the garden path. Each footfall touches the earth as if kissing it. Step, inhale, step, exhale. Your body and breath become one with the rhythm of walking. Pause here. Inhale gently. Exhale slowly. Every step carries peace. Every breath carries joy. Nothing is missing. Nothing is needed beyond this moment. You return to the bench once more, carrying this realization with you. The garden is quiet now, as if it too is breathing. The lanterns glow softly among the trees. The fountain continues its steady song. The stars watch overhead, silent and infinite. Take one last deep breath in this garden. Inhale joy. Exhale peace. When you rise, you feel lighter, carrying Thay's teaching within you. That presence is not a practice reserved for monks or teachers. It belongs to you, in every step, every breath, every moment. The path continues beyond the garden, winding into a quiet clearing where moss covers the ground and tall cedars rise like silent guardians. The air feels cooler here, touched with the scent of resin and damp wood. In the center of the clearing, a simple wooden platform rests beneath the trees. A cushion is placed there, waiting. This is a place for sitting, nothing more, nothing less. In Japanese Zen, the great teacher Dogen called this practice shikantaza, just sitting. You step onto the platform and lower yourself onto the cushion. Your body settles, your hands rest gently in your lap, your eyes soften, half open. You are not here to chase enlightenment, nor to solve life's riddles. You are simply here to sit. Take a slow breath. Inhale presence. Exhale stillness. Dogen taught that sitting itself is awakening, not a step toward awakening, not a tool to reach a goal, but awakening itself. To sit in complete presence is to embody the truth that nothing is missing, nothing is lacking. This moment, just as it is whole. You notice your posture upright yet relaxed, balanced yet soft. The body is steady like a mountain, but flexible like bamboo. You feel the cushion beneath you, the ground supporting you, the breath moving through you. Nothing more is required. Pause again. Inhale awareness. Exhale release. Thoughts may rise, as they always do. A memory drifts in. A worry appears. Perhaps an image of tomorrow. But in shikantaza, you do not cling, and you do not push away. You simply let thoughts rise and let them fall, like autumn leaves settling on a pond. The water remains, the sitting continues. Breathe again. Inhale simplicity. Exhale letting go. The cedar grove holds you in silence. A soft wind stirs the branches, making a sound like 1,000 whispers blending into one. The stars appear between the gaps of the trees, scattered points of light reminding you of vastness. The moss beneath you is soft and cool, grounding you to the earth. Dogen once wrote, "Practice and realization are not two. To sit is not to prepare for awakening. To sit is awakening." The act of being here, in this very posture, in this very breath, is complete. There is nothing to reach, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Take another slow breath. Inhale completeness. Exhale contentment. Time feels different here. Perhaps it disappears. Dogen reminded his students that time is not something outside of us. He wrote, "Time itself is being, and all being is time." As you sit, you begin to see this truth. The breath is time. The rustle of the trees is time. The stillness of your body is time. You are not in time. You are time. And in this moment, time is whole. Pause. Inhale presence. Exhale timelessness. You remain still, watching thoughts drift by. They come like clouds and they go. You remain like the sky, vast and steady. There is no effort to chase them, no need to judge them. They are part of the sitting, part of the practice, part of now. As you sit, the cedar grove grows darker, the stars brighten above, the wind cools your skin. A distant owl calls once, then falls silent. Even these small sounds are part of the meditation. You realize that sitting is not shutting the world out. It is letting the world in, exactly as it is. Breathe once more. Inhale the grove. Exhale into stillness. The more you sit, the more you feel that you are not separate from this place. The ground beneath you is not separate from your body. The breath moving through you is not separate from the wind. The stars above are not distant. They are reflected in your very being. Dogen wrote, "When you find your place where you are, practice occurs, actualizing the fundamental point. Tonight, your place is here, on this cushion, beneath these cedars, with this breath. That is enough. That is practice. That is realization." You sit longer, breathing, resting, allowing. The body grows lighter, the mind grows quieter, the heart feels more open. The world is not something to reach, it is already here. Take one final deep breath. Inhale presence. Exhale awakening. When you rise from the cushion, you carry with you the truth of shikantaza, that sitting itself is awakening, that every moment is whole, and that peace is always found in just this moment. From the cedar grove, the path continues downward, until it opens into a small Zen garden. Smooth white gravel stretches out before you, carefully raked into flowing patterns that resemble ripples on water. Stones rise like islands, each one placed with deliberate care. The garden is simple, yet it feels alive, as though each grain of sand, each rock, is quietly holding its own presence. A wooden bench sits at the edge of the garden. You take a seat, gazing across the patterns, watching how the moonlight glows on the pale gravel. The air is cool, carrying the faint fragrance of pine and incense. The garden is silent, but in its silence you can almost hear words lingering in the air. The teachings of Shunryu Suzuki, the Zen master who spoke often of beginner's mind. Suzuki told his students, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's, there are few." Beginner's mind is open, fresh, curious. It does not cling to what it thinks it knows. It does not seek to control or conclude. Instead, it meets each moment as if it is entirely new. Looking out at the raked gravel, you notice how the spirals and lines form no final picture. They are patterns meant to be seen in motion, changed each day by the rake, by the gardener's hand. Just as beginner's mind is renewed, never fixed, never finished. The stones in the garden are arranged with care, but they do not explain themselves. They are not meant to be puzzles solved by intellect. They are meant to be experienced. Suzuki often reminded his students that Zen is not about reaching for lofty states, but about seeing what is right before you. The stone is stone, the sand is sand. To see it directly, without covering it in judgment or theory, is the essence of practice. The night deepens as you sit on the bench. Crickets hum softly in the background. A breeze stirs, carrying with it the faint rustle of pine branches. The shadows of the rocks lengthen across the gravel, changing shape as the moon climbs higher. In this shifting light, you realize how easy it is to forget that the world is never fixed. Every moment is new, every shadow a reminder of impermanence. Suzuki's students often described him as humble, with a gentle humor that made even the most difficult teachings feel accessible. He encouraged them to approach practice without arrogance, without claiming to be experts. He believed that once we think we know, we stop truly seeing. But when we allow ourselves to be beginners, everything becomes alive again. The sound of footsteps, the taste of tea, the sight of moonlight on gravel. Sitting in the Zen garden, you notice how the ripples in the sand mimic the ripples of water, though no water is present. It is an imitation that points to the truth of impermanence, that all things shift, all things flow. Beginner's mind allows you to meet these patterns without asking for permanence, without demanding certainty. A story is told of Suzuki when he was asked to summarize Zen in a few words. He simply replied, "Everything changes. The raked sand will be smoothed away and drawn again. The moonlight will fade at dawn. Even the rocks, solid as they seem, will weather and change with time. To see this clearly, without clinging, is to live with beginner's mind." You imagine the gardener who tends this place each morning, kneeling with a wooden rake, carefully drawing lines in the sand. They do not strive to make the garden permanent. They know the lines will be altered by wind, by rain, by time, and yet they rake with full attention, full presence. This too is beginner's mind, the willingness to meet the task without clinging to outcome. Suzuki once told his students that the most important thing is to find out what is the most important thing. Beginner's mind helps reveal that truth because it strips away preconceptions and stale knowledge. It asks, what is here now? What is alive in this very moment? The garden around you feels simple, but in its simplicity, you begin to see depth. Each grain of sand reflects the moonlight. Each stone holds the silence of centuries. Each breeze shifts the shadows into new forms. Beginner's mind invites you to see all of this as if for the very first time. The crickets sing more loudly now, steady and rhythmic. Their sound joins the silence of the garden, reminding you that even the most ordinary lives are part of the whole. Nothing is excluded from presence. Suzuki encouraged his students to embrace failure, to see mistakes not as obstacles, but as openings. He said, "Our way is not to sit to acquire something, but to sit to express our true nature." Beginner's mind does not chase perfection. It does not measure success against ideals. It opens to whatever arises, knowing that each moment holds possibility. You sit longer on the bench, watching the garden, letting its simplicity settle into you. The stones are unmoving, yet the sand shifts. The moon climbs slowly, yet never seems hurried. The night deepens, yet it does not announce its arrival. Everything is happening in its own rhythm, beyond expectation, beyond control. This is the gift of beginner's mind, the ability to see without demanding, to notice without clinging, to meet each moment as new. As you rise from the bench, the garden remains behind you, quiet and luminous. But Suzuki's words follow you, carried in your heart, that every breath, every step, every ordinary act can be approached with openness, with curiosity, with the freshness of a beginner. You walk back onto the path, carrying this openness with you. Whatever lies ahead, you know it can be met with beginner's mind, clear, curious, and awake to the fullness of now. The path leaves the Zen garden and winds toward the sound of running water. At first, it is faint, a soft murmur carried through the stillness of night, blending with the rustle of leaves. As you walk, the sound grows clearer until you reach a stream flowing gently over rocks. Moonlight glimmers on its surface, silver and alive, shifting with every ripple. You pause at the bank and listen. The stream does not hurry, it does not stop. It simply flows, carrying fallen leaves, carrying reflections of stars, carrying its own endless song. Its movement is effortless, and yet its presence is steady, eternal in its rhythm. The air is cooler here, touched with mist rising from the water. The stones along the bank are damp, darkened by the stream's spray. A frog croaks softly in the distance. The scent of moss and wet earth fills the air, grounding you in the moment. Zen teachers have long pointed to water as a mirror of practice. Water adapts to every shape. It moves around obstacles without resistance. It yields, yet in time it wears down stone. It has no fixed form, yet it is never lost. Lao Tzu, whose wisdom often flows alongside Zen, wrote, "Nothing is softer than water, yet nothing is better at overcoming the hard." The stream before you is proof of this truth. It does not force its way. It does not fight the rocks in its path. It simply continues, reshaping itself as it moves forward. Over time, even the sharpest stones are smoothed, even the largest obstacles carved into curves by water's patience. Sitting on a smooth rock at the edge of the stream, you notice the many voices within its song. There is the high, quick trickle of shallow rivulets, the deeper rush of the main current, the occasional splash as water leaps against stone. Together, they weave a kind of music that asks nothing but attention. A Zen proverb says, "No one can step into the same river twice, for it is not the same river, and they are not the same person." The stream before you is always changing. Each drop of water moves on. Each sound arises and fades. And you, sitting here, are changing too. The stream reflects impermanence, and it shows you that change is not an enemy, but a constant companion. The water reflects the moon above, though the reflection is never still. A breeze ripples the surface, bending the image into shifting shapes. And yet, the moon remains steady in the sky. Zen reminds us that the world of change and the world of stillness are not separate. Both belong to the same truth, and both can be seen at once. The night grows quieter around you, making the stream's song clearer. You hear insects humming, owls calling from distant trees, the faint rustle of branches. All of it joins the water's rhythm, not competing, not disturbing, but belonging. You notice how the stream accepts everything that enters it. A leaf falls and is carried away. A stone breaks loose and becomes part of the bed. Reflections of clouds or stars shimmer on the surface, then fade as the sky changes. Nothing is rejected, nothing is clung to. Everything belongs, and everything moves on. There is a story told of a Zen monk who, when asked to describe enlightenment, simply filled a bowl with water and placed it on the ground. He said nothing more. The water itself was the teaching, clear, reflective, adaptable, patient. The student understood. Enlightenment is not far away. It is here, in the simplicity of what is. The stream before you feels like that bowl, only infinite. It holds everything: sound, light, shadow, life, and yet it never overflows. It gives without calculation. It continues without effort. It teaches without words. The longer you sit, the more you see yourself in the water. Your life, too, has carried obstacles, yet it has found its way forward. Your days, too, are like drops, unique, fleeting, and yet part of something greater. The stream reminds you that you are not separate from this flow. You are part of it. The rocks in the water glisten in the moonlight, their edges softened by years of patient erosion. Some are small, submerged, unseen. Others rise tall, dividing the current. Yet even these are not barriers. The stream does not stop for them. It simply flows around, changing shape, but never losing itself. How many times have challenges in your own life felt like such rocks? And yet, like water, you continued, reshaping yourself, moving forward, never truly stopped. Zen practice often encourages us to look for teachers in the natural world. Tonight, the water is your teacher. It shows you impermanence, patience, humility, and strength in gentleness. The stars above grow brighter, and their reflections dance on the surface of the water. For a moment, it looks as though the sky itself has poured into the stream. The heavens and the earth meet here, in the flow of water. You feel a connection that reaches beyond words. The same stillness that flows through the stars flows also through this stream and through you. You sit quietly, letting this truth settle. The water flows, the rocks endure, the stars shine, the night deepens, and in all of this, nothing is lacking, nothing is missing. Stay here a while, simply listening to the sound of water. Let its flow remind you that life is always moving, always shifting, always carrying you forward. When you rise, the stream continues behind you, singing its endless song. You walk on, carrying the lesson of water within you, to flow, to yield, to persist, to accept, and above all, to be present with what is. The path continues along the stream until you reach a broad wooden structure nestled among the trees. It is a meditation hall, simple and unadorned. The sliding doors are open, revealing the wide expanse within. Moonlight pours through tall windows, illuminating polished wooden floors. The space is empty, yet it feels alive with presence. You step quietly inside. The air is cool and still, The scent of cedar and faint incense lingers, as though the hall has absorbed the practice of countless sitters over the years. Your footsteps echo softly, then fade, leaving behind only silence. The emptiness of the hall is striking. There are no decorations, no distractions, just space. Yet in that space, something profound is revealed. Zen often teaches that emptiness is not nothingness. It is openness. It is possibility. It is the fullness of everything not yet named. You sit at the center of the hall. The wood beneath you is smooth, warmed by the sun of past days, cooled now by the touch of night. All around, silence stretches like a vast sky. In Zen, silence is not the absence of sound. It is a presence of its own. It holds the creak of the beams, the faint hum of night insects beyond the walls, the distant call of an owl. Silence is not opposed to sound. It is the space in which sound arises and returns. A Zen saying tells us, silence is sometimes the best answer. But here, silence is not an answer to a question. It is a teaching without words. It invites you to rest in spaciousness, without clinging to meaning, without chasing after thought. The longer you sit, the more you notice the vastness within emptiness. The hall, though bare, feels complete. The silence, though quiet, feels full. The emptiness, though open, feels alive. Zen master Bodhidharma once said, "Vast emptiness, nothing holy." His words were not a rejection, but an invitation to see that holiness is not somewhere else, hidden or distant. It is here, in the very emptiness before you. The moonlight shifts as clouds drift across the sky, creating patterns of shadow on the floor. The light moves slowly, reminding you of impermanence. Even emptiness changes. Even silence flows. You notice how your own mind begins to mirror the hall. Thoughts appear, but they echo for a moment and fade. Feelings arise, then dissolve into the silence. Like footsteps on wood, they leave no permanent mark. The hall teaches you that emptiness is not to be feared. It is freedom. The beams above creak gently, as if the hall itself is breathing. The air feels vast, larger than the space you see with your eyes. The emptiness makes room for everything. The shifting light, the small sounds, even the stillness of your body. Nothing is excluded. In the Heart Sutra, one of the most well-known texts in Zen, it is said, "Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form." Looking around the hall, you begin to understand. The emptiness of the room is not apart from its beams and floorboards. It is what allows them to hold space. Without emptiness, there would be no room for form. Without form, emptiness would not be known. They are not two. They are one. The silence deepens as the night grows later. You imagine monks who once sat here, perhaps centuries ago, breathing in this same stillness, resting in this same space. Though the hall is empty now, it holds their presence, their practice, their quiet footsteps. Emptiness remembers. Zen stories often describe silence as the most direct teaching. A monk once asked his master, "What is Zen?" The master simply sat in silence. The monk bowed, understanding. Sometimes, no words are needed. Sometimes, the empty hall itself is the answer. The moon rises higher, casting brighter light through the tall windows. The shadows lengthen, then shorten, shifting like a slow dance. You realize that even in stillness, the world is moving. The emptiness of the hall is not static. It breathes, it changes, it reveals. Sitting here, you see how emptiness is not absence but potential. Just as a pot is empty so that it may hold water, The hall is empty so that it may hold presence. The mind, too, must empty itself of clinging so that it may receive this moment fully. You look at the polished floor, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Each board was cut, sanded, placed. Each one holds the memory of hands that shaped it. Yet now, in its simplicity, it holds nothing but space. This is the paradox of emptiness. It is always full. The hall invites you to let go of striving. There is no need to fill the space with noise, no need to search for meaning beyond it. The silence is enough. The emptiness is enough. You are enough. As you rise, your footsteps echo once more across the boards. This time, you hear them differently, not as interruptions of silence, but as part of it. The hall receives each sound, holds it, then releases it. In the same way, the world holds you, your presence, your passing moments, and lets them go. You step back outside, the night air cool on your skin. Behind you, the hall remains empty, silent, and complete. Ahead of you, the path continues, carrying you deeper into the journey. Perfect, here's the fully expanded section 15. Zen and the Garden of Stones, expanded to 200 words with richer imagery, Zen teachings, and reflections. Closes the section. Section 15. Zen and the Garden of Stones. The path leads you from the empty hall into another open space, where the ground has been carefully prepared. Before you stretches a rock garden wide, simple, and profound. White gravel covers the ground, raked into straight lines and broad curves. Large stones rise from the gravel, each set in its own place, as if it had always belonged there. Moonlight spills across the garden, making the gravel glow faintly silver. The patterns in the sand shift gently with shadow, yet their shapes remain clear. There is no water here, yet the lines of the rake suggest ripples, waves, currents. The stones stand like islands, unmoving, timeless. You sit on the wooden veranda that borders the garden. The boards creak softly beneath you as you settle. The air feels cooler in this open space, touched by the faint scent of pine and earth. A breeze stirs, lifting a few grains of gravel before letting them fall again. The garden is empty of plants, flowers, and color, and yet it feels full. Every stone, every line in the gravel, every patch of open space carries meaning. The emptiness here is not absence, but presence. Each gap between the rocks feels as important as the rocks themselves. Zen gardens like this were designed not to imitate nature, but to express it. They are landscapes of the mind, places where stillness can be seen. The rocks suggest mountains, the gravel suggests rivers and seas, and in the quiet arrangement, you glimpse the whole world contained in a small space. As you gaze at the garden, you notice how your eyes wander from stone to stone, from line to line. At first, you seek to interpret, to decide what each part represents. But after a while, that need falls away. You realize the garden does not demand explanation. It only asks to be seen. The longer you sit, the more subtle details emerge. The raked lines are not perfectly straight. They wobble slightly, showing the hand of the gardener. A stone is not smooth but weathered, its cracks filled with shadow. A patch of gravel is slightly uneven, catching more light than the rest. Instead of flaws, these details feel like life itself. In Zen aesthetics, this is called wabi-sabi, the beauty of imperfection, of transience, of simplicity. A Zen saying tells us, sitting quietly, doing nothing, spring comes, and the grass grows by itself. The rock garden carries the same teaching. The gravel does not strain to become waves. The stones do not struggle to resemble mountains. They simply are what they are. And in their simplicity, they reveal something vast. There is also a lesson in what is unseen. In many Zen gardens, no matter where you sit, at least one stone is hidden from view. The garden is designed so that you can never see it all at once. This reminds you that perception is always partial, that truth is larger than what the eye can grasp. The unseen stone is as real as the ones you see before you, teaching humility in the face of the infinite. A story is told of a monk who raked a Zen garden until it looked perfect. When his teacher came, he shook a tree, scattering leaves across the gravel. "Now," the teacher said, "it is complete. Perfection," the story reminds us, is not flawless order, but harmony that includes imperfection. The garden teaches us that life, too, is complete when we accept its irregularities. The night deepens, and shadows stretch across the garden. The stones seem taller in the moonlight, their shapes more mysterious. The gravel glows softly, its patterns holding steady. The garden does not change, and yet your perception of it shifts with every glance. This, too, is Zen, the truth, that meaning is not fixed, but alive in each moment of seeing. You notice how the garden holds both stillness and movement at once. The stones are immovable, enduring, ancient. The gravel, though raked into fixed patterns, suggests flowing water, shifting tides. Together, they remind you that life holds both permanence and change, solidity and impermanence. The sound of the night air moves gently across the space. A distant breeze stirs the pine branches. The faint call of an insect echoes. The silence of the garden is not empty, but filled with quiet layers of sound and presence. As you continue to watch, the garden begins to feel larger than its boundaries. The lines of gravel ripple outward like waves, carrying your attention beyond the veranda, beyond the stones, into the vastness of the night itself. The stones anchor you, the gravel carries you, the empty spaces invite you. Zen gardens are not meant to be solved like riddles. They are meant to be encountered, moment by moment. Tonight, you encounter this one in moonlight. Tomorrow, it will be touched by sunlight, its patterns different, its shadows changed, and each time, it will be new. You remain on the veranda, silent, present, watching the garden. The stones stand firm, the gravel holds its patterns, the night carries its stillness. Nothing more is needed, nothing is missing. When at last you rise, you leave the garden behind, but its stillness follows you. The raked lines and quiet stones remain within you, reminding you that simplicity holds depth and that presence can be found in the spaces between. From the garden of stones, the path curves toward a tall wooden gate. Beyond it, you see a temple courtyard, quiet beneath the night sky. At its center hangs a great bronze bell, suspended within a wooden frame. Its surface is dark with age, yet polished, where countless hands have touched it. The moonlight glints faintly along its rim, and the air seems to wait for its sound. You approach slowly. The courtyard is still, but it carries a sense of anticipation, as though the silence itself is leaning forward. The bell is motionless, yet its presence is profound. Even without sound, it speaks of time, of calling, of return. The bell has long been part of Zen practice. It is struck to mark the beginning of meditation, the end of practice, the turning of the day. But the bell is more than an instrument of time. Its voice is a teaching. Its resonance is a reminder to come back, to arrive fully in the present. A wooden mallet rests against the frame. You imagine the moment of contact, the hollow strike, followed by a deep tone that spreads outward, filling the air. The sound does not stay bound to the bell. It expands, touching walls, trees, sky, and even the silence beyond. Zen teachers say that when the bell is struck, the sound continues, even after the ear can no longer hear it. Its resonance moves through the world, and through the heart, the echo lingers not only outside, but within. There is a story of a student who once asked his master, "Why do we strike the bell before meditation?" The master replied, "So that even your wandering thoughts may hear the call to return." The bell does not force the mind. It invites it back, gently, with sound that cannot be ignored yet does not demand. Standing before the great bell, you sense its dual nature. It is both powerful and soft. Its tone can carry across valleys, yet it is never harsh. Its sound fades slowly, dissolving into silence, teaching that even endings are part of the flow. The Heart Sutra tells us, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha, gone, gone, gone beyond, gone altogether beyond, awakening, hail. The bell seems to echo these words without speaking them. Its sound carries you beyond thought, beyond separation, into presence. You imagine the moment just after the bell is struck, the courtyard trembling slightly with sound, the air vibrating, the body itself resonating, as though every cell were struck into stillness. And then, slowly, the tone fading, leaving a deeper quiet than before. In monasteries, bells are often struck at dawn and dusk. At dawn, they awaken the day, calling both monks and lay people into practice. At dusk, they guide the mind towards stillness, reminding all beings to let go of the weight of the day. The bell is both beginning and end, both waking and resting. The great bell is also called bonsho in Japanese, the voice of the Buddha. It is said that when the bell rings, its sound carries compassion into the 10 directions, reaching even unseen beings, guiding them toward liberation. To strike the bell is to send a wish of peace into the world. The bell teaches that sound and silence are not enemies. They depend on each other. Without silence, sound cannot be heard. Without sound, silence cannot be known. Together, they create rhythm, the music of the present moment. A Zen story tells of a monk who asked, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" The question is not meant to be answered with logic. It points to the space where sound and silence meet, where meaning dissolves into direct experience. The bell, too, lives in that space, both a sound and a silence, both a presence and a fading. The night grows deeper as you stand in the courtyard. Stars shimmer faintly overhead. A breeze moves softly through the trees, but the courtyard itself remains still. The bell hangs in silence, yet its presence fills the space. You realize that even without being struck, it is already teaching. Its stillness is sound unspoken. Its weight is resonance unformed. Its very presence is enough. You notice the texture of the bronze, rough in some places, smooth in others. You imagine the centuries it has endured storms, seasons, generations of hands and voices. The bell has witnessed impermanence, and yet it remains. Its voice, whenever it is released, carries all of that history in its tone. Zen practice is like this too. Even when you are not speaking or moving, your presence resonates. Even in silence, your being carries weight. The bell reminds you that you do not need to be loud to be heard. You do not need to force to make an impact. Presence itself carries its own voice. When the bell is struck, its tone swells outward, embracing the world. When the tone fades, silence takes its place. Together, they form a circle, sound becoming silence, silence giving birth to sound. The teaching is not in one or the other, but in the whole. You remain in the courtyard, resting in the call of the bell, a call that speaks without words, that resonates even in stillness, that teaches you that every sound, every silence, every moment is complete. From the temple courtyard, the path leads you into a grove of tall pines. Their trunks rise like pillars, straight and strong, reaching far into the night sky. The air here is crisp, carrying the resinous scent of pine needles. The ground is soft beneath your feet, cushioned with fallen needles that hush your steps. At first, the grove is silent. Then, a breeze begins to stir. The branches shift, and the sound of wind flows through the trees. It is not a single sound, but many layered together, a low hum from the trunks, a soft rustling from the needles, a gentle sigh as the breeze weaves through the grove. You pause, listening. The wind in the pines has long been a source of reflection for Zen poets and monks. Its voice is both wild and ordered, fleeting yet timeless. It comes and goes as it pleases, reminding you that presence is not control, but receptivity. In Zen, nature is not separate from practice. The wind does not need to be translated. Its teaching is direct, immediate. When it blows, it says, "I am here." When it quiets, it says the same. A Zen saying tells us, the sound of the wind through the pines is also the Buddha's voice. Listening now, you understand. The breeze is not outside of awakening. It is awakening itself, offered freely. You sit at the base of one of the tall pines, leaning back against its rough bark. The tree is steady, rooted deep into the earth. Its branches sway above you, bending but not breaking. You realize that strength and flexibility are not opposites. They belong together. The wind rises, rushing through the grove. For a moment, the sound is powerful, almost thunderous. Then it softens again into a quiet murmur. The rhythm reminds you of the breath of the world expanding, contracting, always moving, always alive. The pine grove is filled with texture. The roughness of bark against your back, the softness of needles beneath your hands, the shifting play of shadow as branches sway across the moonlight. Each detail comes alive in the wind, as if the air itself were painting the world anew with every movement. Zen poets often describe the sound of wind as music not composed, not rehearsed, but spontaneous and unrepeatable. Tonight, you hear that music. It does not need instruments. It does not need an audience. It is complete in itself. There is a story told of two monks debating about a flag fluttering in the wind. One said, "The flag is moving." The other replied, "No, the wind is moving." Their teacher, Huineng, overheard and said, "Not the flag. Not the wind, it is your mind that is moving." The wind in the pines carries the same lesson. The sound you hear is not separate from the mind that receives it. Listening, you realize that perception and reality are not two. The wind is also a teacher of impermanence. It never stays the same. One moment strong, the next gentle. One moment rushing, the next still. It comes without warning and leaves without farewell. Like thoughts in the mind, like moments in life, it teaches you to let go, to welcome, to release. The grove itself holds the paradox of stillness and movement. The trees stand rooted, unshaken, yet their branches sway with each breeze. Wind and trunk, movement and stillness, are not opposed but part of one truth. The trees do not resist the wind, they dance with it. As you listen longer, you notice how the sound of the grove changes with your attention. At first it is a rush, indistinct. Then you begin to hear layers, the whisper of needles high above, the creak of branches rubbing against each other, the deep hum of air pressing through the trunks. The more closely you listen, the more infinite the sound becomes. The night deepens, and the stars above glitter through the gaps in the canopy. Shadows shift across the ground. The wind seems to move the very light itself, bending moonbeams as it bends branches. The world feels fluid, always changing, never still, yet never lost. In Zen, wind is often paired with emptiness. You cannot see it, yet you know it by its effect. You cannot hold it, yet you feel it move against your skin. It has no form of its own, yet it shapes everything it touches. Emptiness, too, is like this unseen, ungraspable, yet alive in every moment. Another old poem says, "The pine tree by the temple gate whispers with the wind. Who is it that hears?" Sitting here, you understand the question. The wind is not separate from you. The trees are not separate from you. The hearing itself is not separate. All of it belongs to the same living moment. You remain in the grove, resting against the pine, listening to the endless variations of the wind. The trees sway, the stars shift, the shadows ripple. Nothing stays, yet nothing is missing. When at last you rise, you leave the grove, with the sound still echoing in your ears, a voice that is both nature's and your own, both silence and song. The path leaves the pine grove and slopes gently downward. The sound of wind fades, replaced by a new stillness. Soon, you step out onto the shore of a wide, calm lake. Moonlight rests on its surface like a sheet of silver, rippling gently whenever the water stirs. The lake is vast and quiet. Its surface reflects the sky so perfectly that for a moment, you cannot tell where earth ends and heaven begins. Stars shimmer above and below, as though two skies meet here, one of air and one of water. The horizon disappears, leaving only the sense of infinity. You walk to the edge and sit on a smooth stone. The air is cool, carrying the faint fragrance of reeds and lilies. Insects hum softly, their sound blending with the faint lapping of water against the shore. Every detail is calm, steady, unhurried. The reflection of the moon glides slowly across the surface. It wavers with each ripple, breaking into pieces, then reforming again as the water steadies. Watching this, you are reminded of the mind. When agitated, it fragments the truth into distortion. When calm, it reflects the world as it truly is. Zen teachers often point to water as a mirror of the mind. When the surface is disturbed, it cannot reflect clearly, but when it is still, the whole world appears within it. Tonight, the lake is still enough to hold the moon, the stars, the night itself. Looking into it, you see that clarity is not something to chase. It is what naturally arises when the waters of the mind settle. The lake teaches without words. When ripples appear, they pass. When wind stirs the water, it returns to stillness. It does not cling to movement or to calm. It simply receives what comes and lets it go. Zen poets often used the image of the moon, reflected in water, to describe enlightenment. The moon above cannot be grasped, yet its reflection appears in the lake. Awakening, too, is like this, not something gained, but something revealed when conditions are right. A saying goes, enlightenment is like the moon reflected on the water. The moon does not get wet, nor is the water broken. The longer you sit, the more details you notice. Fish rise occasionally, breaking the surface with a ripple. The reeds sway gently at the edge. A heron lifts from the far shore, its wings silent as it glides across the water. Each movement disturbs the reflection for only a moment before it smooths again. The lake teaches impermanence, but it also teaches resilience. No matter how many ripples come, stillness returns. No matter how often the surface is broken, clarity is restored. You lean closer to the water and see your own reflection among the stars. It wavers slightly, bent by the smallest ripple, then steadies again. The lake shows you that your image, too, is impermanent, shifting, unstable, yet always returning. You are not separate from the stars reflected beside you. You are part of this vastness. Zen masters sometimes ask their students, "What is your true face?" The face before you were born. Looking into the lake, you sense the question in silence. The water does not give an answer, but it reflects everything without judgment. Perhaps this is the answer, that the true self is not found by clinging to an image, but by seeing clearly, without distortion. The night grows deeper, the air cools further, and mist begins to rise from the lake's surface, blurring the boundary between water and sky. The stars shimmer faintly through the haze, their reflections stretching and softening in the mist. You realize that clarity and obscurity are not enemies. Even when the reflection is unclear, the moon remains above. Even when the mind is clouded, truth remains. A story tells of a monk who asked his teacher, "What is the nature of reality?" The teacher pointed to the moon, reflected in a bucket of water. The monk looked and said, "But it is only a reflection." The teacher replied, "And yet, without the water, how would you see the moon?" Tonight, the lake carries the same teaching. Even reflections, though imperfect, reveal something true. The water holds everything without preference. It reflects the moon as easily as it reflects a cloud. It shows your face alongside the stars. It does not cling to beauty, nor avoid distortion. Its clarity is impartial. In this way, it teaches compassion to hold all things equally, to allow them to appear and to pass. You remain by the water's edge, watching the moon glide slowly across the surface, knowing that it is both above and below, both distant and near, both real and reflected. The lake does not try to hold the moon, and yet the moon shines within it. You realize you, too, can live this way, not by clinging, but by reflecting, by allowing, by being present. The night is quiet, but not empty. The lake's stillness holds sound, light, mist, and reflection all at once. It holds the world without resistance, and in doing so, it reveals the truth of Zen, that presence is not something to create, but something to notice, like the moon already shining in the sky. The night begins to pale as you leave the moonlit lake behind. The path rises gently through meadows damp with dew. The stars fade slowly, one by one, until the horizon begins to glow with the faintest hint of color. The long journey through night is giving way to morning. You pause at the crest of a hill. Before you stretches the eastern sky, vast and expectant. A band of gold begins to widen at the edge of the earth, pushing back the darkness. The air is cool and fresh, carrying the scent of wet grass and the faint sweetness of blossoms beginning to open. Birds stir in the trees, their first calls piercing the silence. The rising sun has always been a symbol of awakening. Just as the world moves from darkness to light, so too the mind moves from confusion to clarity. The sun does not rush, yet it transforms everything it touches. Shadows shrink, colors emerge, warmth spreads. Zen masters often pointed to the dawn as a reminder that awakening is not something sudden and foreign, but something natural, like the turning of day to light. One saying tells us, when the sun rises, it does not choose where to shine. Its light touches everything, equally stone and flower, mountain and river, saint and wanderer. Compassion, too, is like this light, boundless, impartial, freely given. Mist begins to lift from the valley floor, unrolling like a pale ribbon. The first rays slip across the meadow and pour over the hill where you stand. Dew ignites into 1,000 bright points, then melts back into transparency. Spiders' webs, invisible all night, flare into jeweled constellations strung between stalks of grass. Details that darkness concealed now reveal themselves without announcement or commentary. The world simply arrives. As the sun climbs, the meadow changes tone by tone. Greens deepen, and the shadows of thistles and wildflowers grow crisp along the ground. Flights of swallows stitch the air with quick arcs. Somewhere, a stream begins to glimmer between reeds you could not see before. The day unfurls like a scroll. Zen practice often emphasizes this kind of seeing, not naming, not comparing, simply letting things show themselves. Dawn wrote of dropping off body and mind, pointing to the freedom that arises when we meet experience before our opinions. Dawn makes this vivid. The light does not argue its case, it merely reveals. Clarity is the end of argument. A story tells of a monk who asked his teacher, "What is enlightenment?" The teacher pointed to the morning sun and said, "Look, it rises every day. Nothing is hidden." The monk understood that awakening is not a hidden treasure, but the simple transparency of what is already here, seen with fresh eyes. Beginner's mind meets dawn in this way, unassuming, curious, available. Birdsong gathers into a chorus. Thrush, finch, crow, dove, distinct voices forming one morning. Into being becomes audible. The chorus wakes the valley. As the light strengthens, you notice your own shadow take shape at your feet and then slip behind you as the sun climbs. The body that was a silhouette in darkness is now outline and texture, skin, hair, breath, seen in the cool air. The world clarifies, and with it, a quiet responsibility appears to participate kindly in what the light reveals. Yunmen once said, "Every day is a good day." On some mornings, clouds hide the sunrise. On others, rain thickens the air, yet the day is still fully itself. Good in this teaching is not about pleasantness, but completeness. Today may carry joy or difficulty. Either way, it is entire. The sun rises, even on days when we do not notice. The warmth on your face deepens. The chill slips from your hands. A breeze flows from the hills, carrying the faint mineral scent of stone warmed after long darkness. You notice the small shadows in the cups of leaves. You notice ants already at their roots. You notice the way each blade of grass keeps a bead of light balanced at its tip for a moment, then lets it fall. Attention is love made visible. Zen stories often turn on a simple gesture offered at the right moment. A master raises a finger, a student bows, someone closes a door, and awakening appears. Dawn is like that gesture, offered to all beings at once. No one is excluded. The gate of light swings open, regardless of worthiness or readiness. An unearned generosity. Clouds gather briefly along the eastern ridge, brushed with rose and tangerine. They do not block the sunrise, they make it visible. Light needs contrast to be seen. Practice is similar. We learn from obstacles and moods, from the very clouds that once felt in the way. Zen calls this using the afflictions as medicine, a stubborn habit, a recurring worry. Even these can become teachers when met with awareness. On the slope below, a line of stones holds the terrace. In night, they were one dark band. Now each stone acquires a face. Some are rough, some smooth, some laced with quartz that catches sparks of light. So, too, with people. In darkness, We imagine we know. In light, we meet what is actually there. As the sun clears the ridge, warmth pours freely into the meadow. Mist rises in soft banners, and then thins to nothing. The bird's chorus changes shape. Busy notes give way to sustained calls and the soft percussion of wings. The first insects chart bright angles over the grass. Everything moves toward activity, yet the stillness at the heart of morning remains, like a quiet bell behind the sound. Zen sometimes speaks of the original face, the nature that is present before thought, beyond praise and blame. At dawn, you have the sense of this, not as an idea, but as a way the world feels. Nothing needs to become anything else. The day does not try to be brighter than it is. The hillside does not try to be somewhere else. Such ease is not laziness, it is intimacy. The sun climbs higher. Paths appear where there were none. Faint tracks through grass, a thread of soil along the fence, a way down to water, glinting in the distance. Choices will arise, as they always do. Zen does not always tell you which path to take. Instead, it teaches you how to walk any path, with attention, with kindness, with the willingness to meet what comes and let it go when it goes. You linger at the crest a little longer, letting the new day place itself fully in your senses. Then, without ceremony, you begin to walk. Your steps feel light, the world feels near. The long night and the wide dawn are not two things, but one, unfolding. It was never about chasing light, only about being present when it arrives, which is always now. The hill behind you glows. The valley ahead opens. The sun continues to rise, indifferent and generous, and you move with it into the day. The sun has now risen fully, warming the hillsides as you walk down into a valley. Ahead, you see a small village, simple and calm. Smoke rises gently from chimneys, twisting like brushstrokes against the morning sky. The sound of wooden wheels and distant voices drifts through the air. Chickens cluck, a dog barks once, and then silence returns, layered with the ordinary music of daily life. The houses are made of wood and stone, their roofs low, their gardens small but tended with care. A few villagers sweep the paths, carrying on with their morning tasks without hurry. A farmer bends to tie bundles of straw. A woman kneels to water the herbs that grow by her doorway. Nothing seems rushed here, yet everything gets done. Zen often points to daily life as the true field of practice. It is easy to find stillness on a cushion, in a temple, by a quiet lake. But true practice is discovered in sweeping the floor, carrying water, cooking rice. A famous Zen saying tells us, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The difference is not in the task, but in the mind that meets it. You pause by a well in the center of the village. An elderly woman draws water with a wooden bucket. Her movements are unhurried but sure. She does not think of efficiency, yet each action is efficient. The bucket lowers, fills, rises, pours. The water splashes into a clay jar, clear and steady. This is Zen in motion, presence in the smallest act. Children run down the lane, laughing as they chase one another. Their joy is spontaneous, uncalculated, without thought of yesterday or tomorrow. Beginner's mind, in its purest form. A child stops, notices you, and smiles before dashing off again. The smile lingers, as effortless as sunlight. A baker carries fresh bread to a stall, its fragrance drifting through the air. Villagers gather around, exchanging coins, greetings, and laughter. No one seems hurried. The transactions are simple, but they carry warmth. Each bow, Each shared word is part of the fabric of this place. In the distance, a bell from the village temple rings once. Its tone carries across the rooftops, soft but steady. The villagers do not stop what they are doing, yet the sound seems to guide their rhythm. Work continues, but with a sense of unity, as though all life here moves in time with the bell. A story is told of a Zen master who was asked, "What is Zen?" He replied, "When hungry, eat. When tired, sleep." The village embodies this truth. Needs arise, they are met, and life continues. No embellishment, no striving, only presence. You pass a carpenter at work in a small shed. His hands move slowly over wood, shaving curls from a beam. The shavings gather in soft piles at his feet. He hums a tune under his breath, untroubled by time. The wood takes its shape not from rushing but from attention. Every stroke of the plane is complete in itself. Nearby, a young girl helps her mother sweep the front steps of their home. She pushes the broom unevenly, scattering dust in all directions. The mother does not correct her harshly. She only smiles and continues sweeping beside her, knowing that in time, the child will learn. Zen practice is like this, too patient, steady, not demanding perfection, but inviting presence. The scent of rice cooking drifts from one house. From another, the sound of a flute rises briefly, then fades. Each detail is small, yet together they form a tapestry of life. The village is not silent like the forest or the lake, but its noise is gentle, natural, unforced. You stop at the edge of the square, where a group of elders sit together, sipping tea from simple cups. Their conversation is quiet, broken often by long pauses. They do not fill the silence with unnecessary words. They simply sit together, sharing presence. One of them laughs suddenly, and the others laugh with him, though no story is told. The laughter arises like wind stirring leaves, natural and free. The Zen master Bankei once said, "The unborn Buddha mind is always shining." Watching the villagers, you begin to understand. They do not try to shine, they simply live, and in living simply, their presence radiates. You continue walking, feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin, hearing the simple chorus of daily life. A rooster crows again in the distance. A dog stretches in the sunlight, then curls back to sleep. A pair of sparrows dart through the air, chasing each other between rooftops. Every detail carries the teaching that Zen is not found apart from life, but within it. When you leave the village, you carry its lesson with you. That awakening is not only in silence or in stillness, but in every step, every word, every act of daily living. The forest path waits beyond, yet the village stays with you. Its bell, its laughter, its simple meals, its quiet acts. You realize that Zen is not only the sound of wind or the reflection of the moon, but also the sweep of a broom, the draw of a bucket, the smile of a child. The road out of the village winds gently upward, leading you back toward the hills. The air is warmer now, filled with the sense of morning fresh earth, wood smoke fading from chimneys, blossoms stirred by the breeze. Birds trace wide arcs across the sky, their wings flashing in the sun. You walk slowly, carrying the memory of the village with you. The laughter of children, the sound of the temple bell, the unhurried rhythm of daily tasks, all of it lingers. These images follow you like companions, reminding you that Zen is not found only in temples, forests, or lakes, but also in kitchens, gardens, and workshops. The path bends through a grove of maples, their leaves shimmering in the morning light. The colors are subtle, layers of green shifting with each gust of wind. Shadows dance across the ground, as though nature itself were painting moment by moment. As you continue, you realize the path feels familiar. The stones beneath your feet, the curve of the trees, the distant view of mountains, all remind you of the beginning of the journey. Yet it is not the same. The path has not changed, but you have. Zen often speaks of returning. The practice is not about finding something new, but recognizing what was always present. A saying tells us, coming back to where you started is not the same as never leaving. To return is to see with new eyes, to recognize the ordinary as extraordinary. You pause at a bend in the road and look back at the valley. The village lies below, small but vibrant. Smoke drifts gently upward. From this distance, the details are gone, but the presence remains. It is a reminder that even when you move on, what you have seen and felt continues within you. The path narrows, leading between two hills. A stream gurgles softly beside it, its water sparkling in the sunlight. The sound is gentle, steady, unchanged from the night before. Yet now you hear it differently, not as background, but as part of the whole. Every sound, every sight belongs. You walk on, knowing that the journey is not about reaching some distant place. It is about each step, each breath, each return. The path itself is practice. A story tells of a monk who once left his monastery, wandering for years in search of truth. He studied under different teachers, read countless texts, endured hardship and joy alike. Finally, weary, he returned to his home temple. Bowing before his old master, he said, "At last I understand." The master asked, "What have you found?" The monk replied, "Nothing new, only that the path was always beneath my feet. Returning had revealed what was there all along." As you walk further, you notice small details you missed before. A cluster of wildflowers blooms where the forest meets the path. Their petals are delicate, glowing in the morning light. Last night, in darkness, they were hidden. Now they appear as gifts, unnoticed yet always present. The trail climbs again, and you pause to catch your breath. Looking back once more, you see how far you've come. The lake glimmers faintly in the distance. The pine grove rises dark against the hills. The temple bell no longer sounds, yet you feel its echo. The village smoke curls into the air. Each place remains behind you, yet also within you. The journey is not a string of separate moments, but one continuous unfolding. Zen often describes this truth with the image of a circle. Practice begins, wins through experience, and returns to the start, not to repeat, but to complete. In Japanese, enso, the hand-drawn circle, represents enlightenment, the unity of beginning and end, emptiness and fullness, movement and stillness. Walking the returning path, you feel as though you are inside such a circle. The sunlight grows stronger, warming the back of your neck. The shadows of branches sharpen on the path. A pair of deer step quietly from the forest, pause to look at you, then continue across the trail without fear. Their calm movement feels like part of the teaching, to walk gently, to meet the world without resistance. The stream that followed you through the hills crosses the path once more. Its water rushes over smooth stones, tumbling playfully, unbothered by obstacles. You pause to kneel, cupping your hands to drink. The cold water shocks your lips, then cools your throat, grounding you fully in the moment. You realize that this same stream has been with you since the beginning of the journey. To notice it now is to understand that returning does not erase the path. It deepens your seeing. You climb another hill and rest at the crest. The world stretches wide before you, mountains layered in blue, rivers winding like silver threads. forests breathing in green waves, villages and fields lie below, small yet luminous. You see not only where you are, but where you have been. The circle of the journey is clear. Zen teaches that every return is also a new beginning. Just as each breath returns you to life, each step returns you to presence. The path may lead back to where you started, but the eyes that see it now are changed. You carry the night's stillness, the bell's echo, the garden's stones, the children's laughter, the wind's voice. The path is the same, and yet it is entirely new. You linger a while on the crest, letting the view settle into you. Then, without rush, you continue walking. The path bends forward, carrying you on. The journey does not end. It returns, again and again, with each step. Wherever you go, presence goes with you. The path gradually descends from the hill, winding through meadows where the grass sways softly in the breeze. The sun is higher now, brightening every detail, yet your body feels at ease, as if carried along by the earth itself. The journey, long and winding, is drawing toward its close. Ahead, you see a quiet clearing, surrounded by tall trees that move gently in the morning air. At the center lies a flat stone, worn smooth by time. Moss grows at its edges, soft and inviting. This place feels both ordinary and sacred, a place to pause, to settle, to rest. You step into the clearing and sit upon the stone. The forest around you is alive, with sound birds calling, leaves stirring, a faint hum of insects beginning their day. Yet beneath it all there is stillness, a silence that holds every sound. Zen practice has guided you through forests, rivers, lakes, villages, and hills. Each step has been its own teaching. Now the path offers nothing new, only the invitation to rest in what is already here. You close your eyes. Behind your eyelids, the warmth of sunlight lingers. The breath moves gently, steady as the tide. Thoughts come, thoughts go, like clouds across the sky. The body grows heavy, yet the mind feels light. A Zen master once said, sitting quietly, doing nothing, spring comes, and the grass grows by itself. And you feel the truth of this now. There is nothing more to seek, nothing more to add. The journey is complete, because this moment is complete. The clearing becomes a mirror of the whole path, the stillness of the lake, the voice of the wind, the patience of stone, the warmth of the sun, the presence of daily life. All has led you here, to the simple act of resting. You lie back on the moss, the earth firm and steady beneath you. The branches above sway gently, tracing patterns of light and shadow across your face. The sound of the forest blends into a soft hum, cradling you in calm. You remember the stream you crossed, the pine trees that whispered with the wind, the bell that hung silent yet full of presence. All of it is here within you. The path was never separate from this resting place. It has been guiding you all along to this stillness. Zen teaches that awakening is not apart from rest. To sleep deeply is also to let go, to release clinging, to return to what is natural. The body restores itself, the mind softens, the heart opens in dreams. Sleep, too, is practice. A story tells of a monk who asked his master how to practice at night, when the mind grows heavy and the body longs for sleep. The master replied, "Sleep, as if the whole universe were sleeping with you." The monk understood. Rest is not escape. Rest is union. It is joining the rhythm of the world. As you drift, the world does not leave you. It holds you. The bell still rings in the distance. The pine trees still sing in the wind. The moon still shines in the lake. The sun still rises. All of it is here, surrounding you, Within you, the breath slows, becoming light, like the touch of feathers. Your body begins to feel weightless, as though it is dissolving into the earth. Each exhale carries you deeper into release. Each inhale is gentler, quieter. You sense the moss beneath you as more than ground. It feels like an embrace, steady and kind. The branches overhead are no longer separate from you. They are part of the same vast stillness. You are not lying in the forest. You are part of the forest, part of the sky, part of the earth. Zen often speaks of returning to the great silence. Not silence that excludes, but silence that holds all sound. In this silence, you are not separate from anything. You are not trying to be still. Stillness is simply what you are. The clearing seems to expand, though you have not moved. The sky above feels endless. The earth below feels infinite. Between them, you rest, balanced in peace. A poem comes to mind. The wind has settled. The blossoms have fallen. Birds sing. The mountains grow dark. This is the wondrous power of stillness. The poet was not describing a temple, nor a scripture, but the world itself at rest. You too are now part of that stillness. You let yourself sink fully into the earth's embrace. The breath slows. The body grows weightless. Awareness expands, then softens, then rests. The journey is complete, and yet it never truly ends. Each step, each moment, each breath is another beginning. For now, there is only stillness. There is only peace. You sleep,